14804 Hanthorne Drive, and my name is Jennifer Clark. When my son was 6 months old, we took him to the doctor for a routine checkup, and they scheduled us with speech, hearing, and a feeding evaluation. We attended that session on a Tuesday, and by the following Friday, we had been to 10 doctor's appointments, with each one feeling like a spider web, of needing to see another, often scheduled the same day or the next. At 1 year old, he was diagnosed with an EBF3 gene mutation that had just been mapped 3 months earlier in a study at a Texas Children's Hospital, and we were around the 20th known case worldwide. We were no closer to answers or outcomes by this diagnosis, but OT, feeding therapy, and speech had been started. Early intervention and consistency is so important, as you may be familiar, that when we compare him with his EBF3 peers later in life, he is easily in the top 90%. He never had a feeding tube. He is not continuously on a catheter, and he walks and plays right along his 6-year-old peers without mobility aids. We became aware of his adaptive delay when we were being evaluated at Hanthorne. He thrived on half days at Hanthorne, split with structured in-home preschool, and transitioned well into summer school and kindergarten after I prepped his teachers and staff on his arrival in our IEP meetings. After kindergarten and having a mostly normal school year as possible during the pandemic, he was successful in the quick transition into summer school with a new teacher in the same building. But then he experienced 6 weeks of the ISD summer program, and he struggled every day. Childcare programs are not as structured as a school day. There are more freedoms to play and communicate with peers, but behaviors arose that we had never seen in a school setting, and he became more nervous with his building and the staff. Quite frankly, it's hard for us to expect an underpaid daycare worker to have the understanding, training, or knowledge of how to handle a child when they are deregulated. He never really transitioned in those 6 weeks. Back to school night, he was uncomfortable this year. He insisted on burying his head in my shoulder, not ready to see people in the hallways or willing to meet his new teacher. We prepped him as best we could, and we attended the first day with an abnormal amount of tears. You're probably familiar with separation anxiety, but go ahead and crank that up a few notches. He's had many anxiety attacks this year, and we're getting familiar with new negative behaviors he exhibits from these changes. Building staff continues to go above and beyond for his needs during the day, and every day things get a little bit better. It is just now mid-October, and we're seeing a little bit more normal. He doesn't have hard days on Mondays, but an occasional setbacks on 3-day weekends, assembly substitutes, or other breaks in routine. If we struggle to regulate his body with 5-day school weeks, I can't imagine how long it'll take him to adapt to a 4-day week, and how his brain will process a change in routine with a 3rd day of a different expectations that only occurs 1 day a week. Would a 4-day week allow my son to adapt to 2nd grade at all? Would it happen by the end of the 1st quarter or by Christmas? Because learning does not happen when your mental state does not find safety and comfort in your surroundings. ISD's survey was solely focused on the benefits of a 4-day week, but the mental cost of students in vulnerable populations such as those with IEPs, 504s, and those who need access to family resource officers is what I hope to bring you to the forefront of your thoughts. I hope my words today give you an idea of what it's like parenting a child outside the standard looks like. I didn't even mention the discrimination we see in the private care community because our children may not be potty trained or require specialized care that daycare providers refuse to provide.
1 minute.
Introducing change 1 day a week just brings more chaos to families like mine. And children that already have problems adapting to normal routines are simply ignored and will fall further behind by these plans. Thank you.
Thank you.